Good morning, Internet. How are you today? I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. I want to talk about invalidation. In my opinion, I feel that why my divorce and the separation from the people who were narcissistic in my life was just so difficult is because my duration with them was filled with invalidation. How can I say that? I feel that I wasn't given a choice to have a voice. Yeah. I know that my family members always told me that I'm unhappy because I want to be, and that children should be seen, not heard. So from a very young age, I was groomed to be silent, to not have a voice, and to not have an opinion. If I felt that I was sad or upset, anything that wasn't deemed positive, it was on me, right? And it was my duty to keep those feelings to myself. And I realized that grooming is what kind of put me in the situation that I was in later in life. So, people who are in toxic relationships, who are on the victim side, the non aggressor side, do one or two things, I find. And the first is either they blow up and they overreact because they don't know how to contain all of their rage for being invalidated. Or, like me, they shut down and basically just say, well, whatever I say is not going to land on, welcoming ears anyway, so it's best if I say nothing at all and just do my thing. I feel that both of those, in my case, were unhealthy because it groomed me to basically shut up. It groomed me to basically seethe and stew. And that's probably why in all of my relationships, I was always kind of sick. I always had these weird kind of colds out of whatever. It's because I was always bottling up my emotions, right? So I want to describe how, at least for me, I was invalidated in my relationship, and then I'll go to my familial relationships. The first, excuse me, I'm drinking coffee. The first was, I guess it's called gaslighting, where I was told that something didn't happen and that I was imagining things or that I was overreacting, It was kind of weird, being told when you see something point blank and you ask questions about it and also followed up with, oh, you're just overreacting, someone else wouldn't get as upset as you would or whatever, you know. And true, at first, you're going to be like, no, that's not how this is. But then later, it wears you down because this person is still going to keep a strong stance about what you did or didn't see. And you're going to question it because, sadly, you love this person and you trust this person not to hurt you. The second thing was basically questioning my tastes of what I like and then mocking them. I'll never forget where if I knew better, years before all of this came down, my former spouse, when we were just dating, this was like the second or third date, and I invited him over to my place. And so I come from an arts background, so like sketching and stuff like that. And I had this bust of David, like the torso of David, a soap dispenser, right? Because I thought it was really beautiful. It was very well sculpted and it was clear and you can put whatever kind of soap you want into it. And I'll never forget, he came into my apartment, right? Now, no, at the time, I was also stupid because I should have never dated anyone with roommates and I had my own place, right? ladies, just in case, if you have your own car, your own money, your own place, and you're dating somebody who has roommates, you're kind of cruising for something that's going to be bad, right? But at the time, I didn't think of it that way. And so he picks up my soap dispenser and he's like, I hate this. And I'm just like, why? Because I just met this dude, right? And he's just like, are you trying to make me feel bad? Now, my former spouse was overweight even back then, and I wasn't, but I liked his personality and whatever. And so the way that he looked at me, and then he's just like, oh, well, that just figures, you art people can't be realistic. And so since I liked him and I wanted to keep the peace, I got rid of it. That was the start, right? And that was like date number 2, right? So they will mock what you like, right? And they keep on doing it. And please believe, do not think that stopped there. It was a whole bunch of stuff, what I would wear, what I would read, what I would listen to. He would make fun of my CDs, right? Because we had drastically different musical tastes. I liked a little bit of everything. And he would make fun of my British CDs and just mock them, while I'm just kind of, listening to him, whatever. He would just sing them in this mocking voice, right? To the point where I just stopped playing them because I knew every time that I would play them, he would mock me, right? Last but not least, man, is that if they know they have control over you, then they'll start mocking you in public and then making it sound like it's a joke, right? So I would talk to friends or mutual friends. We would go to like a bar, have a beer with mutual friends, talk about whatever. And then I would say, oh yeah, I'm listening to this or I'm reading this. And then he would follow up with like, yeah, you know how she is. She's kind of into that weird stuff. Just don't mind her. He would say that in front of a whole bunch of people. And then some of them would laugh because they thought that it was just a genuine, lighthearted joke, but it wasn't. And they didn't know any better, right? They thought that our dynamic was comfortable enough that we could jest at each other like that. But it wasn't. It was a way to embarrass me and then not even have me talk to people who are outside of our home, right? And this didn't happen once or twice. Now, I will admit, early in our relationship, I would be catty and be backbiting as well, but it was rarely an occurrence, and it was only when I felt that, I just couldn't take it anymore. But that's how they get you, right? They'll be very passive aggressive with their slights, but then you'll blow up and then you're the one who looks bad. So then I had to stop those too. When it came to my family, I think that I was the scapegoat due to whatever kind of familial drama they had before I was born. And so I was basically placed in the role of, paying for another parent's sins. And it was my job to make right? And so all of my other relatives, cousins who were younger than me or older than me were always deemed better, and I was deemed the worst. So when you have that perfect storm of being a scapegoat as a child, groomed to basically be silent as an adolescent, you're basically, dead in the water when it comes to being a narcissistic victim, when you get out there and you start dating. So please remember, do not let anyone take your voice away. Once they take your voice, it's over. And you'll either be broken or you'll be like me and you'll almost teeter on that line of being narcissistic yourself. I admit it, that the selfishness that I have now is very, very welcoming, but I also know that I do have a streak of cruelty to what I've endured, and I have to keep that cruelty in check. I'm just being honest. Have a good day, Internet, and please find your voice, keep your voice. When you lose your voice, you lose everything.